Hey love bugs, welcome back to the channel. So, you've had your sewn in protective style for a while and it's time to take it out. You're over it. It's time to wash your dirty scalp. But did you know that a lot of the damage that can result from protective styling happens during the takedown process? Yeah, so let me help you learn to do it the right way. I've already went ahead and cut the threads securing the bantu knots, but this is about the sewing, honey, okay? The parts we can't see. So it's imperative that you get all your natural hair out of the way. You don't want a setback. So ignore the third eye on my forehead. Just, Once you locate your first weft, look or feel for a thread and cut it. You just need one. Grab the two sides of the weft closest to where you cut and wiggle it. This will loosen the thread and weft, allowing you to pull the threads out with your finger. So depending on how close together you sew your weft, just go ahead and snip any thread that you're unable to easily pull loose. So tip, always cut the thread above the weft, never beneath. That could be your hair. Okay, it's all black. You might think that's thread, but it's your hair. So be careful, cut above the weft. So this is also why it's a good idea to wear a net or a cap under your sew-in, because even if you need to cut below the weft, like I do at times, the contrast between the thread and the cap will be so stark, it will be near impossible to cut your hair by mistake. This is a process that requires a lot of patience, and your hands are your best friend, because sometimes we have wefts in the back that we can hardly see, so we have to feel around with our fingers to make sure we're touching thread and not our own hair. So pull what threads you can and wiggle your weft to loosen those threads. And if there's a thread or a knot that's too tight, go ahead and use your scissors, just the tip, to try and snip at the thread. Now, coming up shortly, I'll show you another way that you can cut your thread. And to me, this is a lot easier. For example, if you have a full sew-in where it's multiple tracks, you can go ahead and use the flat side of your scissors and press against the top of the weft. So as you can see here, I'm using the top of my scissors to press and rub against the top of the weft, not at the bottom, not near the cap, not near my hair. I press directly on the weft and I just rubbed the scissors back and forth, because that will just cut away the thread first, because the thread is higher and thicker than the weft. So it will cut the thread first before cutting any weft. So as soon as you feel that thread loosen, just stop and start pulling it away. Use your fingers as much as you can. Now, when it's getting to the back of my head, where it's more difficult to see and identify thread, because the mirror won't help you this time, your fingers become even more important. Just try to pull each tiny piece of thread loose. Now, as you can see, even for me, it becomes a bit cumbersome because, hey, it's behind my head, I can't see. So act like you're blind. Feel around and find whichever thread is loose and snip it. It might be at the side, it might be at the middle. Just feel around and feel for a loose thread and snip it as much as you can. Now, when I get to the back, I do not lift my wig upward and cut from beneath. That is a surefire way to snip some of your hair at the nape of your neck. That would be crazy, because at that point you're feeling the hair from the wefts, you're feeling the cap and everything. It might be a bit much. So I like to cut on the inside, like between the weft and the cap, so it's easier, like there's less chance of me cutting my hair. So I do the same thing here, and I feel for the threads, and in the back tends to be a little bit harder to do, but that's where the flat part of the scissors come in handy. Just rub it against the weft itself, and it should loosen those knots and threads. Just move your scissors slightly back and forth. So as you can see in the back, it's a lot easier for me to use the flat part of my scissors because I can't see, and it's very tight. The knots are very tight behind there. So it's easier for me to just rub the scissors against those threads in the back. But this is the best method for the back, and we have gotten all of the thread loose. Remove the cap, my hair under my wig. Alright guys, so I'm gonna go ahead and I found a little bit of my hair that wasn't braided, so I'm gonna go ahead and undo these, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye bye.